Hi, and welcome to Corner of Bexley. I'm Clay.
And it's Sarah. Welcome back, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. Exciting weekend, Summerslam in Cleveland. Great time. So
Cleveland, Ohio, at
packed and full, everything going on
at the Cleveland Browns Stadium. It was an electric atmosphere. A lot of weddings going on that weekend also.
Yeah.
Seems like there was a wedding at the hotel that we stayed at. It looked like there was a lot of like bachelorette or bachelor parties also around in the area. But anyway.
Birthday parties.
Yeah, birthday parties. But anyway, so it was packed. It was very packed. It was a little confusing because there wasn't a whole lot of signage, so to speak. I mean, if anybody's ever been to a sporting event in a stadium, you know, like there's, you know, you have the sections and then you have the section number and whether you're up or down, and then you have your seat number, and which is fine and dandy because that's naturally, in the stadium. That's naturally written on every, you know, board or whatever that's in a stadium. But we sat down we were on the field. So
floor seating.
Yes, floor seating. Felt like big shots.
Living the dream.
But getting to the field was the
hardest thing.
It was so hard. It was like
there was nothing. It was just the guy like, yeah, just go to section 137 or 138.
He said 138. Clayton thought he said 137. But there also like wasn't like when you got there, unless you were looking up at the sign, there was just a little sign underneath the section number that said floor entrance. There should have been some bigger signage because it was so packed.
It was crazy. You had lines for people getting merch, getting food, the bathroom lines, and then people trying to get to their sections. And someone made a comment that this is probably the fullest Cleveland Browns stadium has been in a while.
That's what I said.
It was so funny you said that, and the two dudes next to me just started busting up laughing, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, it was definitely packed. I mean, I know that there was also a Guardians game that day.
Oh, and then I think there was a concert or show, something going on maybe.
Maybe. It was definitely live in Cleveland this weekend.
Great time. A little nerve-wracking getting up there with the storm. It was scary.
Yes. It was raining really bad.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of our fault. We left later than we wanted to. We should have left probably a little earlier to get to check in at 3. Plus, you know, we took the little Lou man with us.
First time up on a travel with us.
Yes. I mean, we drove to Michigan.
To the cemetery to see my buddy.
Yeah, to the National Cemetery to see Clayton's...
pay respects to...
Right, after Memorial Day, last year.
Yep.
And he did great, but he was still like a little guy then.
He was like under 6 months.
I mean, he does really great, and we have a little car seat. So you just clip him in, and he kind of he'll get up and he'll look around or look at the cars and stuff like that.
Watch my back.
But for the most part, he kind of just sits down and kind of snuggles in and just looks around.
Put his head on the bags and rest it. Take a little sleep time. So he did good.
He did great.
It was nice because there was a dog park because we stayed at a loft hotel in downtown Cleveland. So, and there was a dog park there. Probably, it was just 2-minute walk. There, so just across the street. So it was nice. and definitely take them on some more adventures.
Yeah.
Wonder how you do on a plane.
Yeah, that's
so that's our thing. Is like, man, if we can take them on the plane and take them to Vegas to WrestleMania,
right, and just have him in the room and do what we do. Like we kind of just, we got there, got settled, took him outside, fed him, took him outside. It was warm. Of course, he's a Frenchie, so brachycephalic dogs don't do great when it's super hot outside. But
had me scared the other day when we went on a walk. I'm just like, come on, buddy. Papa's going to carry this last mile.
Live, please.
I need you. Emotional support. You don't even know it.
Took him outside. He peed. He pooped. We have a little stroller for him. Put him back in the stroller. Took him upstairs to the room. We got dressed and then just put him in his little cage and put the little blanket over, his cage and
some toys.
Got him some toys. I think he barked like the first few seconds that we left and maybe even after that, but eventually he just went to
someone
sleep.
Forgot their sunglasses.
Yeah, somebody forgot to take their sunglasses, so we had to go back.
My bad.
Short walk to the stadium. Like I said, it was packed. There was all different ages, there too.
People tailgating.
Yeah.
What's up? It was beautiful. It was wonderful. Oh man, I definitely recommend it for anybody that's a fan of wrestling to go. I don't know what a Raw match or SmackDown is, but if you have a chance to go to a pay-per-view level, PLE, go to it. It is worth it.
It was fun. It was great. When we finally figured out how to get down to the field and got to our section,
we had to do a whole 360
basically a lap, pretty much,
because we came down on the other side of the entrance, and it's like, they're not gonna let us just cross here in front of all this, be like on this, and just all of a sudden, just in my mind, just like a dog that gets out the door, I just bolt for the ring and just get in. I'm just like, woo, living my best dreams. I want you, Seth Rollins, bring it. Oh.
So we basically walked completely around the ring. The ring was kind of in the center, and then there was like little merch shops, little, beverage stands where you could get drinks and stuff. Walked all the way around, got to our seats. First, let's talk about the seats.
Oh my goodness.
Because
those are the real MVPs.
Yes, because I'm not the smallest, but I'm not the biggest. And the seats, they weren't like the folding metal chairs that you see people get hit with in the ring. It wasn't like that.
Plastic.
It was like a weird plastic on top and on the back part, but the legs were metal. And Clayton went to get something to drink. So I was kind of there by myself. Luckily, the couple that sat next to me, the girl that sat next to me, we kind of clicked and hit it off. So I it's nothing for me to make friends, even when I don't want to make friends. So we kind of sat down, and I was like, whoa. But then I kind of looked around and saw some people that were way bigger than me. And I was like, well, listen, if that chair's holding them, it could definitely hold me. And then they had them zip tied together so that you couldn't scoot to make yourself comfortable. Yeah. And then I did once kind of
some people were just ripping it so they could move their chairs.
Once the quote unquote security or chaperones or whatever weren't around, people started busting the zip ties so you could be comfortable. Nobody wants to feel like they're sitting on top of somebody else, especially when it's hot.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work out very well. But it was definitely I was these, and then I saw people standing on them, and I was how are these chairs holding people up?
It looked like they just went to the nearest Salvation Army place and was like, yo, can we get your donated chairs and use those? Thank you.
Right.
It was. I'm like, man, and when I think Cody Rhodes came out or Seth Rollins, I stood on the chair, and my wife's just supporting me, just
holding him up with my little arms.
Yeah, let me just take a little bit of this weight off this chair.
So that was great. Clayton was off getting food. So I don't know. I have this weird thing when I go to stuff, and I think it's just something I adapted when we would go. Me and my friends would go to Rock on the Range. We go to rock concert. Like, I don't know. My body adapts this weird, like, I'm not gonna drink a whole lot because key and point, drinks are expensive.
Yeah,
they're very, very expensive at events. They're expensive at sporting events, but when it's a whether it's a concert or whatever the case may be, it's almost like they double the price. So I know from off the bat, like, okay, I don't know if my body just kicks into something like I'm not hungry and I'm not thirsty. A lot of times, especially like when we would go to Rock on the Range, I would just take gum with me so that I could like replenish my saliva, and I would just be fine. So while Clayton was off trying to get food,
many adventures, I
was kind of down by myself, and then starts to pack in. We start getting started. We saw Michael Cole come out. Pat was there, which I was kind of shocked because a lot of times Pat isn't at some of the the pay-per-view events, and I don't know if that's just because he has a family and he does his show, and but I know he lives in Indianapolis, and Indianapolis isn't that far from Ohio, so Sorry, we just got sidetracked by a commercial that said flag football is going to be in the 2028 Olympics. We'll talk a little bit about that. I have that written on our run of show about the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, California. But then Jelly Roll was like the surprise, not the surprise, but he was like the performer. He sang a very beautiful rendition of God Bless America. He sang a song that I think is off the Twisters soundtrack called Liar. I'm not going to say I'm not a Jelly Roll
blown up real quick
fan. I do think he has a very beautiful voice. That I will give. Regardless of how he looks or how he sounds, I'm not a big country girly, so I don't really listen to him. But he did great.
Fantastic.
He did. Him and his band did a nice performance. The Miz and his wife walked right behind us, and nobody said anything until he had already passed. And I could have snapped a picture of it. Obviously, Miz from the Cleveland area, Cleveland kid himself. I heard him on, Cody Rhodes' little podcast that he's currently doing for Wheatley Vodka, that, he's like, I grew up there, I'm from the area. He's talking about, like, he was at the mall where they always do, I think WWE always, like, finds, like, a shop that's closed, and that's where they set up all of their like merch. You have like all the belts and the shirts and the locally named merch where they'll do like stuff that's for the city, and then we saw a lot of SummerSlam stuff in the Browns colors,
Guardians.
Right. So he was talking about like, I used to come to this mall all the time. I can't believe I'm here, for, a WWE, event. So that was kind of cool. They, opened the show. Clayton was still not back at his seat yet. So it was just kind of me, like, chilling, hanging out. And we opened the show with our first match, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the women's championship. Called it.
Yeah.
Liv beat Rhea, which I figured that I didn't think that they were just going to let Rhea come back and just hand her the title when this whole like storyline is kind of popping off.
Now I didn't see the Dom turn going either.
I thought, I'm not going to say I didn't. I thought Finn would turn first. Yeah. I thought it would be a separate, not at the same part. But Liv beat Rhea. Rhea came out with Dominic Mysterio, her boo. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the match, basically, Dom cost Rhea the match, turns on Rhea, kisses Liv, and they everybody went nuts, and they walk off into oblivion, leaving a crying Rhea Ripley to walk out of the ring by herself. It is what it is. It was a good match.
Yep.
I don't dislike Liv. I would say I'm probably more of a Rhea Ripley person than a Liv Morgan person. I will say, how do I want to phrase this? I don't understand really what it means for Dom. I keep saying, like, Dom's whole thing was, I'm stepping away. I want to step out of the shadow of my dad, Rey Mysterio. Okay, cool. You turn on Rey. You step out into the Judgment Day. You win a belt in NXT. You previously, a tag team champion with your dad. Mm-hmm. And that's it. So we did all of that for an NXT belt. Like, I'm just like the same, you know.
I don't know, see what happens, you know.
You beat your dad. Congratulations. But you didn't beat him for anything besides family pride. The right to have the big piece of chicken at dinner. Like, I don't know. Like,
they get to serve himself first.
Right. Like, so.
He's head of the table with Mysterios.
I guess. It is what it is.
Yeah. LA Knight, that was a good match. Beating.
Sorry. No, you're fine. I guess we'll see what happens on Monday Night Raw. You know, you have Dom and Liv now. I don't know how that works. I don't even know if that's, quote unquote, we'll say real. Like, Liv could just be using Dom because Dom seems like he's easy to use, to be honest. But yes, then the next match we have LA Knight and Logan Paul. Logan Paul also, I won't say he's a Cleveland kid. He's from the area. Yeah. I think he's from like a suburb, or I don't know how they do. I don't know if they do. There's like villages or townships like here in Marion, but he's from like a suburb of Cleveland.
He got a lot of heat coming out.
A lot of heat. And like I said, Machine
Gun Kelly coming down.
I just think because of the persona he built upon himself, people don't necessarily like him. Like, kids probably like him because they see, oh, this guy, and he's got all this stuff, and he's famous, and da-da-da-da-da, but like, he just doesn't seem, he probably would be even bigger, but because of the things he's done in his past, they're kind of, now that he's grown up a little bit, they're kind of biting him in his ass a little bit. But yes, Logan Paul came out with another Clevelander, Machine Gun Kelly, who I'm also not that big of a fan of. I have seen Machine Gun Kelly in concert. He was at Rock on the Range one year, and I just kept thinking, like, dang, why couldn't it have been Mac Miller? Because I like Mac Miller a lot better, and then Mac passed away, and then I was heartbroken because I was like, I saw that wing ding and didn't get to see Mac. Logan Paul loses his United States Championship to LA Knight. Now, there have been a few rumors circulating that Logan was supposed to retain his championship before he basically got himself into a little bit of public controversy with the post that he made about the Olympic female boxer. And then the WWE just kind of powers that be were like, ooh, I don't know about him. I don't know if that's true or not. It is what it is. Regardless, I feel like he should have lost anyway because he hasn't been defending the championship. And like I think I've said on a previous episode,
just like a part-timer.
Logan likes to go and do other stuff. That's how he makes his money.
He's got to go promote for Jake Paul.
Right. He's got to promote for his brother. He's got to do this. He's got to do that. He also has a child on the way. So in my mind, like, maybe like you're young. You're not it's not like you're an established wrestler where you can kind of like move or like people will miss you. Like go away for a little while and reconfigure, I don't know, your personality and come back as a different person. I don't know. Who knows?
Babyface turn.
Yes. And then we had Braun Breaker defeating Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. I will say, Braun Breaker, you picked the perfect place
Dogtown
to get yourself a chip because Browns, you have the chant of the Browns, the Cleveland Browns. You have the hoo, hoo, hoo. Everybody loves that. That's his thing. I know Cody does it every once in a blue moon, but that's Braun Breaker's thing, and everybody was doing it. Yeah. We kind of saw that coming. No offense to Sammy. I like Sammy. Sammy's fun.
You seen that? I honestly thought Sammy was going to win.
Really? I definitely thought he was. I thought he was going to win.
I really thought Sami Zayn was going to come out with the W. Actually, I didn't think we would see that many belt turns, like hand swaps, then happen. And I thought Cody, jump a little ahead. I thought, I was worried about that,
I was worried about that too, but I was, like I said, there's unfinished business with that, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So then we had Nia Jax beating Bayley for the other women's championship. Tiffany Stratton came out, didn't cash in. Very disappointed because they played her music and she ran out there like she had never run before. I saw Bianca Belair. It
happened so fast from where we were at.
Yes,
it was like that, and then all of a sudden, we could see like her just getting
every little bit of whisper that people thought somebody was coming out. I will say, although our seats were good, I'm 5 through it. I couldn't see anybody's entrance at all.
I couldn't.
We couldn't see anything. And then everybody, what we found out, me and the girl that sat next to me, we found out that like you're allowed to be at the barricade for entrances and for exits, and that's it. They didn't want anybody up and over by there. I know that they had blocked off a little part at one point in time because I think Stephanie McMahon was sitting down by the ring and she must have got up to go maybe up to the suite, and so they blocked everything, and there was a bunch of security around blocking everything for Stephanie. So I didn't get to really see anybody's entrance or exit like live in person. I saw on Bianca Belair's Instagram story, she was like, I didn't even know Tiffany could run that fast. Did y'all see her little arms just up and away? And she got all the way down there, and I was she didn't cash in. And maybe this is the work of the story. Yeah. Maybe you wait, because you could see her eyeballing when Nia held up that belt. You could see her looking at that belt, just like Randy looking at Cody, like, all right, when you least expect it, when you're, either fought the match of your life or whatever the case may be, because I don't know who's going to come for Nia next. Is Bayley getting a rematch? Is Jade coming for Nia?
Good.
Because that would be a good match. Is Bianca going to come? Is there going to be a split apart of those two? Like, how are we working this angle to where Tiffany is cashing in to get that belt? Because I feel like that's maybe be the next person they want to put it on, possibly either her, or I feel like Jade Cargill is like between those two, it could be up for the taking. But yeah, she didn't cash in. They celebrated it. I was happy for, Nia. I don't dislike her. I think she looked great. She looked beautiful.
Yeah, her outfit,
her crown, the hair, everything looked great. I saw her hug her mom afterwards. I think the next lady she hugged was The Rock's mom, which would be, I think, her aunt. Yes. So, congratulations to her. Also, I like Bayley. I think she's great. So, kudos to her. And then the next match we had was Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk with Seth freaking Rollins as the guest referee.
That I didn't see coming either.
Yeah, I thought Punk was going to win.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be his return match. He's going to get a W, get his bracelet back, do it for Larry.
But
you know what they're doing, though? You seen, like, with him and Seth.
Yes, they're setting up Seth and Punk because it was originally supposed to be Seth and Punk at WrestleMania. But Punk got hurt. And, I mean, Drew and Seth have a common ground. They hate CM Punk. Yeah. So why wouldn't Seth help CM Punk basically get his lick back and take CM Punk's bracelet again? So that was it was a fun match. It was a funny match. Something we talked about. It was weird being at a live event because you don't get the commentary. Yeah. You don't get the commentary. You don't get to hear the funny, you don't get to hear basically Michael Cole losing his mind and hear Pat McAfee basically calling people names randomly.
It's the raw crowd noise and
yes, the fans they do mic the mat so that you can hear when people like smack on the mat. It's funny every time they would show Seth and he would laugh, I could hear Seth's laugh because I feel like Seth freaking Rollins has a very distinctly sounding laugh. But that was a good match. It'll be interesting to see if CM Punk is on Raw tonight. How that goes with him and Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah, Raw will be exciting tonight.
Yes. And then we had Damian Priest versus Gunther for the heavyweight championship.
That was a good match because I would have to say there was a couple of times you could just hear the slap.
Yes, you could from hear where we were, could hear those slaps. I mean, Damian was also slapping the shit out of Gunther too, to the point where his chest was bleeding. But Gunther beats Damian Priest for the heavyweight championship, and with the help of Finn Balor turning on Damian Priest, which we kind of knew. I knew that they were going to basically
beefing,
give Gunther the belt because I feel like Gunther has kind of showed up a little bit. Like he's gotten a worker. Yes, he's gotten himself into where now, like, not only is he great in the ring, he's great on the mic. Like, I was listening to an interview with the Undertaker, and it was, what's that guy's name? Chris Van Pelt or whatever. He has a podcast. He interviews a bunch of people, and he was interviewing the Undertaker. And they were talking about the chops. And the Undertaker was like, I hate chops. I hate them. I'm not a fan of them. He talked about being in the ring with, I want to say, maybe Umaga or somebody. And they chopped him. And he was like, it took me a minute to like get my mind back in the match because I was like, I fucking hate chops. He was like, but Gunther, he was like, I would love to be in the ring with him. Yeah. He was like, even though I hate chops, he was like, it's how he does them. He was like, I would love to wrestle with him. And I feel like that big praise. So Finn finally turned on Priest.
Judgment Day.
I don't really know what that means. I mean, I figured that he would turn on him, but I thought maybe it would be for that belt. Because I know Finn hasn't carried. I know he's the tag team champion with JD McDonough, which is fine. But like, I know Finn probably wants to get himself back to, where he was before, as a big name champion. So we'll see how that goes between Finn and Priest. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens on Monday Night Raw. Everybody is kind of saying like it's going to be possibly violent. You have the Terror Twins, Rhea and Priest getting turned on, and I feel like those two people are two people you don't want to turn on.
It was going to scorch and burn everything.
Scorched earth. And then to end all be all, we have Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. And on SmackDown, they had a little back and forth. Solo proposed bloodline rules, which at this point I'm like, stop doing that, because in your mind you're thinking bloodline rules, but it's bloodline rules for everybody. So if you have 3 people coming out, I'm going to have 3 people coming out. But nobody thinks ahead like that, especially Solo. I thought it was a good match. I do think they sold Solo like seemingly to feel like this shit ain't as easy as I thought it was.
Yeah. It's hard to carry it. It's
hard when you find out, like, I'm used to just popping out from under the ring and hitting Cody with the thumb, or popping out of somewhere and grabbing somebody's ankle, but now I have to carry this entire match. Mm-hmm. It's just me carrying this match, and I don't know if I can do this. So, we're going. You have, the Tongas come out.
Patches a Houlihan.
Right. You have the Tongas coming out. Who were both members of the Bullet Club when Cody was in the Bullet Club. So that would be an interesting turn. I know that that's not how it's going to go, but that would be kind of funny. And then you had, Kevin Owens coming out, and you had the Viper, Randy Orton, coming out, but there's still left one person uncalled for, and that was Jacob Fatu. Yeah. Jacob comes out, starts beating up on Cody, beating up Cody. Cody had told Jacob, I ain't scared of you, you dumb son of a bitch. And they went back and forth, and then Jacob puts Cody on the announcer's table, jumps off the top rope to hit Cody with the splash. Looks like to me he hit like his shin or like the ankle area, maybe on the edge of the table, which I know that had to fucking hurt. That's that kind of pain where like you like kick your feet on the ground because it hurts so bad, and maybe like it goes numb and you feel like you might throw up a little bit because you're hurt. But he kind of, the way he acted, if he's selling, then he sold it great, because he definitely looked like he hurt himself a little bit.
He's like, we're gonna
plan
B, guys, plan B.
And it looked like he got upset because Solo was directing him, and then he starts yelling at Solo kind of from the ground because he tries to stand up, basically like, like get him. And I don't know if he was necessarily mad at Solo, if he was just mad at the fact that he hurt himself. Solo and Cody start kind of going back and forth. They're both laying in the ring. And then the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns, makes his triumphant return at SummerSlam to basically...
Everybody loses it.
Loses their shit. Because you kind of had the feeling it was either going to be Roman or it was going to be Jimmy. Because Jimmy has also been out for a little while after Solo and the Tongas attacked him for losing at WrestleMania. Roman comes out, runs to the ring, cocks the hand, gives Solo the punch in the face, hits him with the spear, rolls out of the ring. Cody hits Solo with the crossroads, pins him, 1, 2, 3, and then you have the stare down. You have the stare down with Cody and Roman, and Cody kind of tapping on the belt with the 3, basically letting Roman know, like, whenever you're ready for this rematch, I'm ready for this rematch. So, and I will say, listening to other podcasts and other like things with Cody on there, Cody and Roman grew up in this business. So they know the implications. Like when Cody talks about the moment where his dad won the belt but then lost the belt, he talks about the reason they did that is because Dusty was an outsider and the people want the outsider to win, but the business knows, well, if we have this happen, then that pulls people in, and then we can hit them with a trilogy, boom, 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 and build money off
Right.
of this. We all know that. We had, them at WrestleMania 29, WrestleMania 40. There's going to be a rematch. Now, whether it's at WrestleMania or whenever it is, because also you have the factor of the quote unquote final boss, The Rock, just looming, loitering out there, waiting to fuck up somebody's, movie series with his own demands. Basically told Cody the same thing. Like, whenever I get done doing what I'm doing, I'm coming back for that. And it's whether Cody and Roman will happen first, or Cody and The Rock will happen, or Roman and The Rock will happen. Who knows? Because there's that element of that The Rock is pulling solo strings, and that's how we're going to get the whole like possible family feud at War Games, I guess you would say.
Civil War.
But yeah, it was great. Roman looked great. He looked happy to be back. You could tell he was reveling in, everybody, cheering for him and chanting for him and happy. I know like WWE had a belt specially made, sold out. He had a shirt on, original Tribal Chief, sold out. So, I mean, you can't, like I said, no offense to Solo, you got to put in your dues, bro. You're not, the reason, Cody and Roman and Randy and, Stone Cold Steve Austin and John Cena, like, they sell. Those are big names and they sell money. And you're not quite there. You're selling money, but like in the faction, you're not selling it by yourself though. So we'll see what happens on SmackDown. I heard Roman's going to be on SmackDown this week, so we'll see what happens on Friday. Yep. But overall, it was great. That was our first like official WWE wrestling event, and it was great. It was a good atmosphere. The next big pay-per-view PLE event is Bash in Berlin.
End of this month,
August 31st. So that'll be interesting. We probably won't. We'll talk about wrestling a little bit, but also football's getting ready to start. So, football.
Shift change.
So we probably won't talk a whole lot about wrestling as much. Now that, other sports are starting to start back
World
up.
Series will be hitting us up.
Yes, we'll probably, maybe back off a little bit. Maybe bring it up from time to time. We've already start trying to think how we can finagle the bagel and go to Vegas to go to WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. I feel like we're going to do it, so it is what it is. But yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah.
You gotta see John Cena's last WrestleMania.
Yeah, gotta see John Cena's
last. I thought he would be there, honestly. I was like,
I kind of did too. I thought, like,
it's his last Summerslam. So
yeah.
I was like, oh, John Cena would be here.
And John Cena's kind of made it clear, like, he's kind of said out loud, like, once I leave, like, the door is shut, like, I'm not coming back to do. And, you never want to say never, but he is a movie star, a comedic movie star, a serious movie star, whatever you want to say. Action,
comedy, action.
He can kind of do what he pleases. So
maybe start that TV series,
right? Maybe they might give him a daytime talk show. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we'll be interested to see what.
I was gonna say, I was like, oh yeah, he is doing Peacemaker. I forgot about that.
Yes.
So we'll
see. That, so. We'll see what happens. I think between him and The Rock, you have The Rock he has that movie where they kidnap Santa coming out. I think there might be another Jumanji in the works. Who knows? So we'll see.
Yeah.
What happens. But yeah. So NFL preseason starts this week, Thursday, August 8th. Our first 2 preseason games. Obviously, we had the Hall of Fame game, but that is preseason, but, whatever.
Right.
We have the Carolina Panthers versus the New England Patriots, and we have the Detroit Lions versus the New York Giants. Preseason doesn't mean anything necessarily.
I remember Browns went 5-0 one year.
Congratulations.
And then they just snowballed. So, yeah, preseason.
Yeah, preseason doesn't, it's like a heat check. How are we doing? How are things running? Usually the first 2 games are like the first, I would say, game and a half.
I don't even think starters play.
No, starters don't play until probably about the 3rd game, maybe even the 2nd game, depending on how things are looking. We basically get to see, like, is somebody going to get hurt? Is somebody not going to get hurt? What do we need? How do we need? How are people reading? This defense. How's these quarterbacks doing? What's going on?
Who's going to be in the XFL next season?
Right. So. I don't know. I mean, obviously, we're happy that the NFL is back, football's back. I should have wrote college football up there too, but I forgot. I think theirs, I want to say, is August 20-something, maybe. We'll have college football. So, like I said, the wrestling talk will probably die down because, football is king. So
August 24th.
Yep. So August 24th, we'll be talking about college football. It'll be getting up, college game day on, then talking, having
a Buckeye game.
Yeah, going to a Buckeye game.
Chili, cornbread.
Fall is upon us here soon. So, really excited about that. Excited to have football back because we both enjoy football.
Love of the game. Former high school player. Well,
obviously, I didn't play football in high school. So the Olympics is going on. Still continuing our Olympics talk. We're getting close to the end here. It's funny how fast it goes. Like, we get there super, super quick. Obviously, this Olympics has had some controversy.
Today,
more than that. You had the opening ceremony controversy.
Where do you want to start in controversy?
Right. I mean, every Olympics has their own little thing. You had the opening ceremonies where people were like, "This isn't appropriate." People thought they were making a mockery of the Last Supper. You had things that could have been inappropriate for parents to children. You have
Hunger Games openings.
Yeah,
that's how. Some of the people I heard in our community.
You have, the bed situation. The stars have been showing the cardboard beds. Basically, the frame is cardboard. And then the mattresses look like... They showed the cut of the inside, and it's probably plastic, but it looked like a loofah. Like the loofahs. That's what it looked like to me. And they had, soft, medium, and firm.
Yeah, I know some countries went and got extra pillows and bed toppers for athletes.
My question was, how does that work? Like I said, I'm 5'3", so my feet aren't hanging off the bed. But if you're, a basketball player, or a much taller person, how does that work?
Well, I know, the NBA, they pulled their money and got a hotel room. That's what they did. They pulled their money for their coaching and all them, and they rented hotels. So that's where they stayed. They're like, deuces.
Yes.
We're stars.
I know some people didn't stay at the Olympic Village. That was another controversy that happened during the track and field for women's, the 100 with Sha'Carri Richardson and what is her name? Shelly Ann Fraser of Jamaica. Shelly Ann Fraser has been in, I don't even know how many Olympics, but she's an amazing sprinter. And the big controversy was they were going to practice every day. Neither of those two, Sha'Carri Richardson and Shelly Ann Fraser, stayed at the Olympic Village. They stayed off site. And so then they would get a taxi to bring them to the village. And everything was fine and dandy until we get to the final, when it was like, oh, if you didn't come in on the team bus, we can't let you through this certain entrance.
Huh.
And there's even a video. Sha'Carri is sitting on the ground next to the gate, and there's a bus driver, and he sees Shelly Ann Fraser, and he's basically like, what's going on? And she's like, they basically changed the rule overnight and didn't tell anybody, and was like, if you didn't come in on the team bus, you can't come through this gate. She was like, now, yesterday when we were doing heats, it was fine and we all came through this gate. Shelly Ann ended up pulling out of the final, and Sha'Carri ended up getting the silver medal. I think St. Lucia got their first gold medal, and I think we got silver and bronze.
Huh.
And it's like, fine, if that's how you guys felt, fine, but you owe it to the athletes there to be informative. If you guys didn't want that, you should have said it. You should have said it before heats started. Hey, we just want you to know, if you aren't on the team bus when it comes into this gate, you can't get in. Oh, okay, cool. And then teams could have adjusted accordingly, not the night before. And then when they get there, hey, you can't come in this way. So that was a big controversy. We have the triathletes swimming in the Seine River that's running through Paris. The big controversy for Paris was getting the river clean so that triathletes could swim in it.
Yikes.
And then you had active patrons who lived in Paris basically pooping in the river because France had spent millions to try to clean up this river. That's why in the first episode, or maybe not the first episode, but the episode we talked about the Olympics, and I said a lot of people that live in these cities or countries where they have the Olympics aren't for it because it upends the people that actually live there. That is one of the bystander, the products of that is they
Victims.
Basically were like, you'll spend millions to make this clean for an event, but we've been living here and y'all didn't care about it then, so we're going to make sure. Now, I know they let them swim in it, and I think I heard like some athletes have gotten sick.
Oof.
So that's a big thing. It is what it is. And then, we had a little controversy. Everybody knows about the female boxer controversy that they have going on.
Wild. People just losing their minds.
Yes. It's very sad.
Definitely proves how women got burnt at the stake in Salem.
Yes. And how quickly misinformation can be given out and disseminated, and people can believe it as fact. And by the time you try to retract the statement or fix it, it's already like, this isn't, the 1990s where word, it takes a while. People see it in the newspaper. It's on the news, It's at your fingertips. And as soon as it's there, as soon as it's out, it's hard to retract the statement that you've basically slandered this poor woman. So you have that. There was a little controversy today in the gymnastics final or apparatus finals for floor. You had Rebecca Andrade for Brazil in first, you had Simone in second, and then you had a Romanian gymnast in third. That Jordan Childs for the United States was the last to go. What they should have done is, after she went and the score came back and the United States filed an inquiry and said, we want you to relook at the tape. We feel like you didn't credit Jordan for a stunt that she did, that you said she didn't do. So the United States did that. They filed the inquiry to see one way or the other. And instead of them saying, everybody cool your heads. Yeah. We're going to see what we got here. We'll bring back the results. They'd already passed out the flags to, Rebecca for Brazil and the United States and Romania. And then it came back. They had not given Jordan Childs credit for a move that she had done. They gave her credit, bumped her into the third position, giving her the bronze medal, and bumped the Romanian gymnast out of medal contention. So then it was like, oh,
What's going on here?
right, what's going on? How is this working? You know, credit to Jordan for being gracious. But it does look unsavory. So
skeptical.
You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I assumed it was the Romanian because that's what it was saying, showing on
yes,
TV.
they showed the graphic, and the graphic said it was the Romanian
Third
gymnast,
place,
and that was
and
that.
I was like, oh, and then all of a sudden,
but
boom.
And then it's like, did you guys tell the Romanian team that that's what you guys were doing before you? It seemed really messy, and it looked really messy.
Heartbroken the girl looked.
Yes, but you know, congratulations to our men's and women's gymnastics team. Men's team got the bronze. Women's team got the gold again. You had Simone winning gold in the all around, and Suni winning the bronze. Rebecca Andrade for Brazil getting the silver, and then you had nobody from the United States winning medals for the balance beam, and you had Simone getting gold and Suni getting bronze, I think, for the uneven bars. And Jordan Childs getting bronze and Simone getting silver for the floor. And I know Jade got the bronze for the vault, and I think Simone got the gold for the vault. So congratulations to, you know, everyone so far. A lot of the major events have kind of winding down. I think swimming is over for us. We did really good in swimming. We have this weird beef with Australia, apparently. Gymnastics is over. Track and field is starting, but is also starting to wind down. I'm interested to see when this breakdance and stuff starts because I want to watch it. I want to see how is this working. So
how they score it,
right? You know? Also, is it like individual break? Like, is it props? Right? Is it like gymnastics? Is it team and individuals? So we'll see. Also,
world.
You know, we have our men's basketball team doing well and the women's basketball team doing well. Is this breakdancing right now? Maybe? I don't know. This should be interesting, though. We'll have to report back and see how that goes. Also, women's soccer team's doing great. And then closing ceremonies will be on August 11th. I'll be interested to see that. You'll see, you know, them close out the Paris Olympics, the Olympic flame go out, them basically handing the Olympics to the United States because the 2028 Olympics will be in Los Angeles, California for, I think, the third time. So, it'll be interesting to see how that goes, how we honor that. I think not only we're getting the Summer Olympics in 28. I think we're getting the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. We also are doing FIFA, I think, next year, the year after that, which will be split amongst the cities in America. So, yeah, it should be interesting. I'm excited. I see how things go.
All right. Mm-hmm. Maybe go to a FIFA game.
That would be interesting. That would be fun.
Yeah.
I was watching the Spain
game was good.
I was watching the Spain Morocco game, and you know how like the across the pond how they had the flares and the drums, and I was like, whoa, this is
wild
party
town.
Right.
So yeah, season finale of House of Dragon last night. So building up for season 3. So I'll probably see that in another 3 years, 2 years.
Are they going to do something else in between that, or?
I believe they're going to be doing another part of the story of Game of Thrones. It's a future about Sir Duncan and Egg. Aegon Targaryen.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting. I think I seen a trailer because you see because I never know if it's fan made or is this real. Because I seen some stuff and I'm like, oh man, I'm excited for this movie, and then I go to
the deception of AI.
Yeah, and then I go to IMDb and I'm like, dang it, I'm not.
This shit's not real.
It's fake.
Been bamboozled.
They got me. So yeah, they're gonna. They have that coming out. So season 3 ended, or not season 3, but season 3 coming up in a few years, maybe a year if we're lucky. Probably be
interesting.
Close to 2 years, maybe. So I know Game of Thrones. When they did the season, it was
I don't know. I've never watched Game of Thrones. I did watch the first season of House of Dragon, and I've watched not watched, but I've seen bits and pieces of the latest season. So
yeah, I know it's in the Game of Thrones they had to go from summer to winter, and so they had to take a period and start filming in the wintertime to get it. So that's why. So it's just curious when they'll have the next season. But it was interesting, good getting season. So
yeah. Next week we will be
Sublime.
Seeing Sublime in concert for their farewell. I'm interested to see how it goes. It does look like I think his name's Jacob Bradley, the lead singer or who was once the lead singer of Sublime. His son now sings lead. Will be the lead singer, so it'll be cool. I did see a little interview with him, and they were asking him how he felt and what he thought the future was holding, and he kind of had a funny answer. But I thought it was really cute that he called all the guys his uncles, considering his dad passed away before he was a baby when his dad died. So I thought that was really cute. I did see a video where they brought some dogs on stage because everybody knows, well, not everybody, but Sublime's little mascot was Louie, the Dalmatian, which belonged to Bradley. So
the dog's name was Louie?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you listen to some of their songs, he always mentions Louie. So it should be fun. I'm excited to see them. Hopefully it doesn't rain.
Fingers crossed.
Applesauce. And toes. And then we have the Bratwurst Festival coming up August 15th, 16th, and 17th in Bucyrus, Ohio. Bucyrus is 25 miles from Marion.
Yeah.
My mom was born in Bucyrus. That's where my grandparents lived for a long time.
Home of Baker's Pizza.
Yes, Baker's Pizza and the Old 30 Barbecue and the Old 30 Strip Club.
Dirty 30.
And like I said, my mom was born in Bucyrus. My grandfather worked at, I think, Crawford Steel up there. And my grandma worked at BF Goodrich, which was in Green Camp. And they decided to move to Marion. My mom used to always say that they would come to Marion because there was the, is it the Isley's ice cream place? That Isley's made Klondites. There used to be a little shop here, and my mom said that they would come here on Sundays, and then they moved to Marion. And my grandpa worked at Marion Power Shovel, and my grandma worked at BF Goodrich until they closed, and then she went and worked at Honda. So welcome to the Rust Belt.
Yeah.
So we might try to go to that. I mean, it's the 15th, 16th, and 17th.
In the past?
Yeah, I used to go every...
Really?
Yeah, so me and my mom and my grandma would go every year. Because my grandma knew people there.
Gotcha.
They were old people, so I assume that they've since passed away. But that is a kind of a busy, we'll see Sublime on the 16th. And then on the 17th, you have that golf scramble.
Yeah.
So we might get there, we might not. I'm not actually a fan of bratwurst, so it doesn't pay me any mind.
Love the bratwurst patties. Love them. Num 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 num.
Nom, 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 nom.
So, thanks for joining us.
Did we miss anything? Is that it?
I think that's.
I think we got everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, where to listen. Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Also, like and follow us. We have an Instagram page now at corner_of_Bexley. Thank you to everybody so far who has listened, who has shared, who has liked and followed. We appreciate, we're just going to keep trying to go strong, bring some new fresh topics, be funny. So yeah, I'm Sarah.
I'm Clay.
See you guys. Have a great week.
See you next week.